This is the fun part for me. We get to do a little bit of hands-on. So as we step into this, we'll go over to Kajabi. And let me just make sure I'm out of the way. Yep. And we see in Kajabi, last session's training has this, basically it's an hour-long video almost on the button. And then down here it has the audio and it has the whiteboard. There will be a summary and a worksheet in the final version of this. I'm just finalizing that right now. So these are all outcomes from the slice and dice process. Edited video, audio, the whiteboard, where I take a picture of the whiteboard so you can download and print it if you want. There'll be a summary and a worksheet in here as well. And these are some specific outcomes for the deliverable of that training. From that though, let's go back over to Finder. You'll see, here's season 8. This is the folder. It's in Dropbox. Here's session 6. Let's go into session 6. And we have the full audio. So if we play that, that's the full audio of that training. The full video of that training. There's that. And then I do promo shots for it just before I train. I'll take a couple shots of me in front of the whiteboard. And then down here, I have the PDF summary that I'll be putting in there. I want to edit a little more. And it breaks down, this is brand new, breaks down the entire outline. Thank you, AI. I have the whiteboard complete so that you can download and print that. I love the whiteboards because when I go back through my previous trainings, I know what I taught without having to get into the summary or to review it all. I'm like, oh yeah, I taught that particular thing there. And then we have a worksheet, which is brand new for season 8. Here's the worksheet. And it is amazing how it created this worksheet from that vision, strategy, and planning. Many people have already enjoyed that and are working through it. Beyond that, here's the 8 clips that I created. I created a sound version of it and a video version of it. And these clips are in chronological order from the training. So how do we grow a business? This particular clip is 7 minutes and 7.5 minutes, and it teaches you that. Franchises and systems is another clip. The exceptional business is another clip. 3 traits, which I consider to be gold, that's why it says gold, is another clip. World-class offers, psychological mastery, bullseye and 3 traits recap, the vision TLDR, the short version of the vision. And that one is only, let's take a look here, about a minute long. So those are the clips that I created by myself in iMovie as I was watching the training and taking notes. Does that all make sense so far? Down here in Shorts, we'll go down there, I had Opus create all these shorts. It created 39 shorts, and it automatically did this work. It decided, because the whiteboard was important, AI decided the whiteboard was important, to not make me completely vertical, but to include the whiteboard, which I think is pretty cool. Has the full subcaptions, and that's a 44-second clip, and that one was rated the highest. How to get more energy, bring the joy, business outcomes. And these are all ready to be proliferated out there. So if you think about my system, I take the original video from the camera, I put it in iMovie, I watch my own trainings and take notes on it. Typically, these clips down here are part 1 of the framework, part 2 of the framework, part 3 of the framework, part 4 of the framework. Does that make sense? And then, so these are longer form, and these are horizontal. So it's horizontal. I don't have captions on these, but they can be leveraged, as we'll talk about when we proliferate, into YouTube as a longer form video. They can be put into LinkedIn. So think of one of these videos as a LinkedIn article where I have a link to the video. Of course, it'd be on YouTube is where I'd link it to. And then the video itself, I'd have AI take the transcript of this clip and make a LinkedIn article post, and I'd edit it. Because as I've always said, LinkedIn does 80% of the work. Does that all make sense? So 80% of the work. So this is all a system. This has been going on for years. You know, if we go back out to the main part, there's season 1 through season 8. So if we go into season, let's say pick season 3, here's all the different sessions. And let's go to how to create purposeful and profitable workflows. Here's the notes, the links, the thumbnails. This is back when we did the 3 different segments. This is the perspective. This is the training. This is the action list. And here's the whiteboard from season 3, session 11. So I'll bring that up. So yeah, training, action, The best businesses? I love this stuff. When I go back in time, I'm like, oh, that's so good. So that's the system that I created, and it just rolls out. And that's just for Business Monthly Mastery. We have a very parallel one for health, wealth, and happiness. Does that all make sense? So the folder structure should be a takeaway for you. What happens inside the folder structure should be a takeaway for you. How that all works should be a takeaway for you. Having AI do the summary and the worksheet should be a takeaway for you. Creating clips should be a takeaway for you. This is why it's mission critical to be able to teach, train on video nowadays. You feeling it? So we haven't even we just scratched the surface on the repurposement of this. So when we go to post the purpose of this, the main reason we made it, we do it over here for our monthly training, monthly mastery community members. The full training with the downloadables, all that stuff, right? So the pieces, though, they go out cross spectrum. And that's what we're going to work on now. So let me go back to our main thing here. Make that full screen. Get that off the screen. And let's talk about what we just experienced for a minute. If you create one 60-minute training, roughly 60 minutes, and you edit it, and it's built on a framework driven from your why, which has very clear ambitions for the people that you're training. You're very clear on what you want them to grow, learn, maybe take action on. You can piece this thing out and leverage AI to create all kinds of things. That's where we're going to go now. So the first thing that I do after I finish the edit and the clips and the shorts is I post it so it's available for viewing that second Saturday of the month. Nowadays, I create that training in advance of that. When we started, it was a live training. What I noticed, and this is a distinction for you, was the live trainings were fun in person, but the replay quality was low. And the reason it was low is because you could see I'm a one-man shop trying to do this, and I was trying to incorporate your feedback real time. And when I did, I think it was season 2 where we stopped doing it live. Like that way, I did it live, but it was no interaction. That's where the training quality and replays went up. And that's where I learned that I could use clips and put them out. Does that all land for you? So one 60-minute video, the transcript of it can be used to make summary, to make worksheet, to make 30 days of LinkedIn posts, to make 30 days of X posts. The actual video clips can be leveraged 1 per week. Think of them as a 3 to 8 minute video. Typically, that's what they are. 2 to 12 minutes, I guess, is what they actually are. And it can be used on YouTube as a once per week strategy. The shorts can go out. So let's just say we use the YouTube clip on Sundays and we put out a short on Tuesday and a short out on Thursday. So the clip is the horizontal, the short is the vertical with the subcaption. So 3 times a week, we're reaching out to YouTube. Of course, this can all be releveraged on Instagram Reels and or stories and or posts. It can all be releveraged on X. It can be leveraged, well, we talked about LinkedIn article. It can be leveraged as LinkedIn posts. We can have AI make us posts and even imagery that supports that particular clip for that particular week's theme. We can use it on TikTok. The verticals can be used on TikTok, maybe 3 per week. We can use them on Pinterest. We can use them as ads or as boosted posts, you know. We can take the audio part, put it in SoundCloud so people can experience us and listen to us. SoundCloud is pretty much free for an enduring period of time to use a certain amount of space. And if people have a SoundCloud app, they can listen to you like a podcast, but just listen to the audio parts of your training. Of course, if it is truly a podcast, we can leverage that. And SoundCloud connects to the big guys, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, a bunch of others. So that concept's pretty clear. And let's get a little deeper with AI here for you, is that we can put it on our website. We can put it in our blog. We can send out an email list. We can do a YouTube long or a podcast, depending on what it is. Long would be the long form. The clips would be the long form. YouTube shorts would be the verticals. We can do Instagram, Facebook posts, reels, and stories. And think about threads too, which is basically Mark Zuckerberg's baby version of Twitter, X, X posts, LinkedIn articles, LinkedIn posts, TikTok, Pinterest, ads, SoundCloud. And we can leverage that all for free. Paying for ads with the boost would be the only real expense if you wanted to do that. For an enduring period of time to see if our message resonates. The coolest part is something I was taught a long time ago, is value in advance. So when we think about this idea of these kind of things and these frameworks, these clips that we're sharing, providing just a glimpse into the bigger training. So often people will say, Char, I saw that was part 3 of this the whole thing you were covering. How do I get access to the rest? Because I loved what you shared in part 3. And I'm like, go to the Mastery trainings, buy it, and then you can get access. Here's the direct link to, let's just say it's this training, Business Internet Mastery, Season 8, Session 7, which I create shortened links for. You probably noticed BIMT-S7 or S8, S7. So that's the BIT link as a shortened URL that takes you right to Kajabi. So presuming you have purchased Mastery Community or monthly training, takes you right to the training, get in and go. Does that all make sense for you? I hope this is landing for you. So the concept now is creating your system to purpose and repurpose your content. Today, a lot of people, Kajabi is kind of expensive to start with nowadays. They jack the price way up. So Gumroad.com is a great starter tool for people to start putting content up. And you even have the offer, just like the ability to offer pay what you want in Gumroad. Whereas Kajabi, you can do pay what you want. It's a little differently structured, but Gumroad's a pretty easy first step. You can almost do it for free because they just charge a percentage of the sale. So Gumroad.com is a great tool for that. Is that helpful? So let's kind of recap this because I know there's a lot going on here. First and foremost, we create our content, and I'm just going to say aim to make it 60 minutes. We slice and dice it. The way I do it is I go through, create the big chunk. That's the full training that goes into Kajabi for the members. I created, in the context for last session's training, I created 8 total clips. Those are rolling out to YouTube, to the email list, to YouTube Shorts. Well, the clips are not going to YouTube Shorts, the verticals are. To LinkedIn articles, all this kind of stuff. I ran the transcript through AI. Typically, I use Grok, and I have for this, to create a summary and an action list. I also asked AI, tell me some post ideas for X. Give me, 15 days or 15 post ideas so I can post once every other day on X that are related to this with a clear call to action to get in and watch the training, buying Mastery Community or applying for Mastery Community access or buying monthly training access. You have to apply to be in the Mastery Community because it's an interaction with me, but you can get monthly training access without having to talk to me. You feel that differential in the offer? It's just how that's kind of formulated and works today. So then we know our outputs, which I just went over, and we post our purpose. That's the profitable part. That's the full video going into the deliverables. Then we repurpose and grow. And repurposement of one 60-minute video, you're seeing the massive impact of that. That, 39 shorts, it's over a month, once per day of content. If you use Opus Pro, which I do, you can actually schedule the delivery of those shorts through Opus and let it handle it all in most of the major online platforms. Isn't that cool? That's the essence of this. I hope you're sensing the system. I hope you're sensing how we create and the why. So there's the why, the creation, and the distribution. The why fuels the creation and the distribution. The deeper your why, the more you're going to be disciplined about the creation and distribution. Create the system, live the system.